I did the right thing, and the company hit me with a fine of 188,000 yuan. Not a cent went their way. Instead, they ended up paying me 30 million. It all started at the monthly review meeting, when the new assistant suddenly switched the projector to my project budget sheet. The boss and every single colleague in the room instantly turned to stare at me. The assistant smirked, slapped a stack of contract copies onto the table, and said, "I'm reporting VP Han for secretly using company resources for personal business. This is a serious violation. Recommend immediate suspension and investigation." The boss's expression darkens like a storm rolling in. I stay calm and study this desperate little assistant clawing for power. The company resources he's talking about? That's a prime office property I personally bought years ago for 5 million, and let the company use rent-free as their headquarters for 3 full years. Leo clicks to the next slide. It shows a bank transaction report. I do a quick mental calculation. VP Han has been draining the company every month through expense reports, hundreds of thousands each month, hidden behind travel reimbursements. The company's new management reform starts at the top. We cannot tolerate anyone stealing from this company. Every eye in the room shifts to Lydia, my college best friend and business co-founder. Back when we were starting out and she had no seed money, I mortgaged my own family assets to cover her share. Later, when the company needed capital to expand, I didn't hesitate. I put the building's title deed up as collateral. Yes, I personally covered the mortgage payments, the taxes, the renovation costs. I even went to the bank myself to apply for the loan. Does anyone in this company not know that? But right now, Lydia's face is stone cold. She says nothing in my defense. The impatience and hesitation in her eyes tell me everything. She's weighing the odds. "Marcus," she says, "is what Leo reported even legal?" My heart drops. Legal or not, it goes back 2 years, to when she first borrowed the land. She promised to compensate me once the company turned a profit. Wasn't that exactly what Lydia had sworn to my face? Clearly, loyalty means nothing when money is on the line. I push back, my voice surprisingly calm. My fingers tap the table slowly, like someone making a final verdict. "The documents are all right here. The contracts are clear." "Marcus," she says, "even though you're a shareholder and a longtime friend, rules are rules. Company assets must be kept separate from personal ones. Hand over the title deed and the keys to the admin team. All funds and returns will be managed by the company. Any outstanding dividends will be deducted accordingly." "Well said, Ms. Lydia." I look at her, and something tightens inside me. "We'll need to send a company-wide announcement too. Make an example of this." I watch a face I once knew turn into a stranger's. I don't fight back. Don't wave my title deed and break down, because I see the hunger in Leo's eyes, and the cold calculation in Lydia's. I reach into my briefcase and pull out a document, slide it quietly to the center of the conference table. Since Ms. Lydia has made her position clear, I'll cooperate, but let's put it in writing. Leo sneers. Sounds like someone has a guilty conscience. I ignore him. Look straight at Lydia. "Asset transfer and liability waiver agreement. From today, this building belongs to the company. All future liability is no longer mine." Lydia hesitates for 2 seconds. Under Leo's urging glare, she signs. I fold the agreement away neatly. I toss the keys onto the table and stand up to leave. Behind me, Leo's triumphant laughter rings out. Colleagues whisper all around. The moment I step out of that conference room, I dial a number. "Sarah, initiate the withdrawal plan." Her crisp professional voice comes back without missing a beat. "Understood, sir." 3 days later, the company's admin team sends out a company-wide notice. It announces my formal disciplinary penalty and a fine of 188,000 yuan. My office is cleared out. Leo struts right in and makes himself at home. Meanwhile, I sit in my study at home, looking at the scanned copy of the property bet agreement on my screen. A slow smile crosses my lips. The game has only just begun. The first thing Leo does after moving into my office is tear down every piece of art on the walls and replace them with his own motivational posters. He sits in my chair, feet up, taking calls, dripping with self-satisfaction. "Yeah, Marcus's position is mine now. Come to me for everything." Lydia starts pulling Leo into core business meetings and hands him every major project I used to run. Word spreads through the whole company. Leo is Ms. Lydia's right-hand man now. Marcus is finished. I sit by the floor-to-ceiling window at home, reading the real-time surveillance reports Sarah sends me. Sarah is the special assistant for my family's enterprise, the person I trust most. Her voice comes through the phone. "Sir, Leo has started reaching out to suppliers and client contacts." Lydia takes a sip of something. "Has the core server access been locked?" "Done. All critical data permissions are now tied to your personal account. I've set up triple-layer encryption. If anyone tries to force their way in, the system locks itself down automatically." "Good. Now reach out to Mr. Zhao and Director Wang. Tell them it's time to close the net." I hang up and open my laptop. I log into the company's internal system. The screen shows Leo attempting to access the financial database. Once, twice, 3 times, all failed. I can picture exactly how frantic he looks right now. I built this system myself back in the day. Without my authorization, no one touches the company's lifeline. Meanwhile, in the company conference room, Leo is losing it at his screen. What is going on? Why can't I open anything? The head of the tech team wipes his sweat. "Mr. Leo, these files have special permission settings. They require VP Han's authorization." "Marcus is suspended." "What authorization? Just crack it open." "This system was personally designed by VP Han's team. Forcing through it could cause data loss." Lydia walks into the conference room frowning. "What's happening?" "Ms. Lydia, Marcus has locked down all of the company's core data. We can't access anything." Lydia's face goes cold. "Contact Marcus immediately. Tell him to hand over access." I get Lydia's call while I'm at the gym on the treadmill. I glance at the screen and put it on speaker. "Ms. Lydia, something you need?" "Marcus, hand over the system access. We need it for work." I wipe the sweat from my face. "Ms. Lydia, have you forgotten? I've been suspended. Company policy says suspended employees cannot be involved in any company matters." "That's different. System access affects complex operations. Then why didn't you say it was different when you penalized me? And besides, the asset transfer and liability waiver agreement we both signed states clearly, from that day forward, company matters are no longer my concern. The line goes silent for a few seconds. Then, the dial tone. I set my phone down and keep running. 30 minutes later, Sarah texts me. Sir, the company just lost a deal worth $20 million because they couldn't deliver project data to the client on time. Lydia smashed 3 cups in her office. I text back, good, let the storm get worse. On the 5th morning, the company implodes. The entire office system goes down without warning. Every screen goes black. Client data, financial reports, project timelines, all unreachable. The tech team swarms the server room, but can't do a thing. Leo stands at the server room door, face pale as ash. What is going on? Everything was fine yesterday. Mr. Leo, the system detected an attempt to force access to the core permissions. It triggered the automatic lockdown. The entire database is now locked. Leo grabs the tech manager by the collar. When I told you to crack it, why didn't you warn me this would happen? I did warn you. You told me to keep going. Lydia storms into the server room. Her voice is sharp. Can it be restored? Only VP Han's biometric unlock can open it. We don't have that access. Lydia takes a slow breath. I'm in my sunroom at home, drinking tea, when Lydia's call comes in. I let it ring for a good 10 seconds before picking up. Ms. Lydia, what can I do for you? Marcus, the company's system is down. Get back here and fix it. Ms. Lydia, I'm currently suspended. Company policy says I cannot be involved in any company matters. Your words, remember, rules are rules. Don't play games with me, Marcus. You built this system. You have a responsibility to maintain it. I laugh. Maintain it? Ms. Lydia, the asset transfer and liability waiver agreement is very clear. From that day forward, all company matters are no longer my concern. You wouldn't want me to break company policy, would you? I'm a disciplined employee right now. If I go back and get accused of unauthorized conduct, that fine of $188,000 was for nothing. Lydia's voice jumps up a pitch. Marcus, what exactly do you want? Isn't Leo handling my old responsibilities now? I'm sure he'll figure something out. I hang up and block Lydia's number. Back at the company, Lydia is shaking with rage. Leo tiptoes around her. She shoots him a glare. Do you have any idea how much data recovery costs? And if our core trade secrets get exposed, the damage will be far worse. Just then, the secretary bursts in, panicked. Ms. Lydia, bad news. Huatai Group says if we don't submit the project proposal by 3 o'clock this afternoon, they will terminate the partnership. The penalty is $5 million. Lydia goes white. Huatai Group is the company's biggest client this year. This project is the whole year's performance. She grits her teeth. Go to Marcus's home, talk to him in person. Half an hour later, Lydia arrives with Leo and 2 tech staff. I spot them through the security camera and press the intercom. Do you have an appointment, Ms. Lydia? Marcus, open the door. We need to talk. Sorry, I'm currently suspended. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to receive company executives. Please head back, Ms. Lydia. Lydia takes a breath. Marcus, name your price. How much will it take? Ms. Lydia, what you're suggesting, I'm a disciplined employee. How could I take money over company matters? Wouldn't that just confirm the accusations against me? I wouldn't dare. Lydia is speechless with fury. Right at that moment, Ms. Lydia, the deadline is passed. Since your company is unable to fulfill the contract, we will proceed as per the agreement. Please transfer the penalty fee to the designated account within 3 days. The call ends. Lydia freezes. $5 million in penalties plus the losses from the system crash. The company's cash flow is squeezed in an instant, and this is only the beginning. I stand at the floor-to-ceiling window and watch Lydia and her group slink away below. Send Sarah a message. Tell Mr. Zhao it's time to move. The Huatai penalty hits the company like a hammer. The CFO rushes to find Lydia that very night. Ms. Lydia, the company's operating cash is running out. We still owe suppliers, employees need their wages, and rent is due. Pay the penalty first. Push everything else back. But the suppliers have already called 3 times. If we don't pay, they may cut us off. I understand. That'll be all. She dismisses the CFO and stares at the safe that was moved from my office. It sat in the corner of my office all along. When she took over the assets, she never thought to check what was inside. She calls Leo over. Can this safe be opened? Leo circles it slowly. There might be important company documents in here. 2 hours later, a locksmith pries it open. Lydia digs through the files inside, only to find mostly old project records. Just as disappointment sets in, Leo pulls a manila envelope from the very bottom. Ms. Lydia, this looks important. She takes it and pulls out the documents inside. The first page reads, Office Building Property Bet Agreement. She flips through quickly, her face growing paler by the second. The core terms are crystal clear. The registered owner of the office building is Marcus Han. While the property is used as collateral by the company, the controlling party must remain unchanged. Should the controlling party change, the building's purpose be altered, or any ownership dispute arise, Marcus Han has the right to immediately reclaim ownership, and the company must pay a penalty of 30 million yuan within 15 days. The agreement was signed 3 years ago, right when the company was first founded. Lydia's fingers tremble as she turns to the last page. They're both her signature and Marcus's handwritten, along with the official company seal. Leo leans in for a look. His face changes too. Ms. Lydia, what does controlling party mean here? Lydia closes her eyes. 3 days ago she signed the asset transfer and liability waiver agreement, handing control of the office building away from Marcus and to the company. Under this agreement, the controlling party has already changed. Does that mean we owe him 30 million? Lydia's eyes fly open. The office falls into a dead silence. Leo stammers. Could Marcus have done this on purpose? He knew about this agreement all along. That's why he handed over the keys without a fight. Lydia snatches up the agreement and reads it over and over, searching for a loophole. There is none. Every word is airtight. Each clause cuts into her like a blade. Back when she needed access to Marcus's building, she never read the terms carefully. Whatever Marcus said, she signed. Who could have known that a forgotten piece of paper would turn out to be a ticking time bomb? Leo says carefully, Ms. Lydia, maybe we just pretend we never saw this. Marcus hasn't brought it up yet. Lydia lets out a cold laugh. You think he won't? He's been waiting for us to breach that contract. The words barely leave her mouth when there's a knock. The secretary peeks in. Ms. Lydia, a delivery from the court. Lydia's stomach drops. She takes it and tears it open. Inside is a formal notice of demand, signed by Marcus's legal team. The letter is short and direct. Given that your company has violated Article 3, Clause 2 of the Office Building Property Bet Agreement, we hereby formally demand payment of 30 million yuan within 15 days of receiving this notice. Failure to comply will result in legal action and a court-ordered asset freeze. The paper slipped from Lydia's hands. She collapses into her chair. Leo is ashen. Ms. Lydia, the company doesn't have 30 million. Lydia murmurs, he planned this from the start. From the moment I signed that transfer agreement, he was waiting for this day. She finally understands. His calm at the meeting, his ease when handing over the keys, his refusal to help, all of it was because of this agreement. He wasn't forced out, he played the long game, and she walked into every trap he set step by step, like a fool. As the sun sets, Lydia stares at the notice, fingers white-knuckling the edge of the paper. 30 million. 15 days. A trap with no way out. Before the shadow of that penalty even lifts, the company takes another blow. Early the next morning, the production manager rushes in frantic. He barges into Lydia's office. Ms. Lydia, Mr. Zhao just announced he's cutting off supply immediately and demands we clear all outstanding payments, or he won't send us so much as a single bolt. Lydia snaps her head up. What? Mr. Zhao and we have worked together just fine. Why the sudden turnaround? The manager shakes his head. I have no idea. Everything was fine last night. Lydia immediately calls Mr. Zhao. It rings for a long time before he picks up. His voice is ice cold. Ms. Lydia, I'm sorry. We're restructuring our business recently. We may not be able to continue supply. Mr. Zhao, we've worked together for so many years. If there's an issue, we can talk it through. Is this about payment? I'll have our finance team transfer it right now. Ms. Lydia, it's not about money. I'll be straight with you. I agreed to supply in the first place as a favor to young Master Han. Now that he's gone from your company, I don't see a reason to continue. The company is still the company, but, Ms. Lydia, let's not dance around it. I know young Master Han well. If he truly wanted to go back, he already would have. The fact that he left tells me something is wrong over there. I do business based on chemistry. I have chemistry with young Master Han. I don't have it with you. That's all. He hangs up. Lydia grips her phone, the veins on the back of her hand bulging. Leo murmurs beside her. Ms. Lydia, what if you go talk to Mr. Zhao? I've met him a few times before. Lydia glances at him and says nothing, but her eyes say it all. Go ahead and try. Leo goes. He waits in the lobby for 2 hours before he finally gets Tomer, Zhao's secretary. He hands over his card. Please let him know. I'm Leo from the company. I'd like to discuss the partnership. The secretary glances at the card and smiles politely. I'm sorry, Mr. Zhao is very busy today. He has no time for visitors. Then I'll make an appointment. Tomorrow or the day after works for me. The secretary shakes her head. Mr. Zhao's schedule is completely full lately. There really is no availability. Please head back. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all I need. He is escorted out of the building. He stands outside, face burning with humiliation. Back at the office, Leo gives Lydia his shamefaced report. Miss Lydia, Mr. Zhao refused to see me. His secretary said he had no time. Lydia shuts her eyes, takes a slow breath. She knows this isn't about time. Leo simply doesn't have the standing to get a meeting with Mr. Zhao. A supplier at that level doesn't care about the company. They care about connections and reputation. When Marcus was here, Mr. Zhao showed up out of respect for Marcus. Now that Marcus is gone, what does Lydia have to offer? She waves a hand, irritated. I get it. Go find alternative suppliers to fill the gap. The production manager grimaces. Other suppliers either charge double the price or fall short on quality. And switching suppliers last minute means delivery delays of at least a month. Lydia slams the table. Then what do you suggest? That I go beg Mr. Zhao? Dead silence. Leo speaks up carefully. What if we ask Marcus to step in? Lydia glares at him. Leo goes quiet instantly. Ask Marcus for help. Could she really bring herself to do that? More importantly, would Marcus even help? Just thinking about Marcus makes Lydia's chest tighten. She grits her teeth. Find other suppliers, no matter the cost. Fulfill the orders first. What she doesn't know is that at the exact moment she makes that call, 2 other long-term suppliers have already received the same message, and every bit of it is being driven by me from behind the scenes. I sit in my study, listening to Sarah's update as I take a sip of tea. Mr. Zhao's side has been handled well. Now notify Director Wang. It's his turn. Understood, sir. Also, Lydia just reached out to 3 new suppliers. All of them quoted sky-high prices. I smile. Let her pay. The more she spends, the worse it gets for her. While Lydia is buried in the supplier crisis, she has no idea a far bigger threat is quietly brewing at the bank. After cycling through 3 replacement suppliers, all priced at double the original cost, the company's cash flow is stretched to the breaking point. The CFO comes to Lydia with the numbers. Ms. Lydia, at our current spending rate, the company has at most 2 months of cash left. Add Marcus's 30 million penalty on top of that. We simply can't pay it. Lydia stares at the alarming numbers, temples throbbing. Leo pipes up. Ms. Lydia, why don't we take out a bank loan? The company has the office building as an asset. We can use it as collateral. Lydia's eyes light up. Right. The building. That building is worth at least 80 million. We should be able to borrow 30 to 50 million against it. It covers the cash shortfall and pays off the penalty. 2 birds, 1 stone. She tells Leo to prepare the materials immediately, the building's title deed and the company's financial statements. She'll go to the bank herself. Leo rushes off eagerly, completely unaware he's walking straight into another trap I've set. 2 days later, Lydia walks into City Commercial Bank with a full stack of documents. She asks specifically for Director Wang, a well-known financial expert in the industry with authority over major loan approvals. Lydia waits in the reception room for half an hour before Director Wang appears. Gold-rimmed glasses, smile polite but distant. Ms. Lydia, your reputation precedes you. I hear you're looking to take out a secured loan? Lydia forces a smile and hands over the documents. Yes, Director Wang. This is the title deed for our office building and our financial statements. The building is worth 80 million. We'd like to borrow 50 million for operations. Director Wang takes the documents and flips through them casually, then hands them to the loan officer beside him. Run the preliminary review first. The loan officer takes the documents and leaves. Director Wang pours Lydia a cup of tea. Ms. Lydia, standard procedure requires 3 to 5 business days for asset valuation and credit review. If everything checks out within 2 weeks, Lydia exhales in relief. Thank you, Director Wang. Director Wang nods with a smile, but the moment he sees Lydia out, his smile disappears. The second she's gone, he dials my number. Young, Master Han. Lydia just came in for a secured loan. The office building you mentioned. I lean back on the sofa. Run it through standard procedure. Make sure everything is checked thoroughly. Understood. I'll pay close attention to the ownership situation on that building. I hang up and send Sarah a message. Alert the legal team to have all ownership documents ready, on standby. 3 days later, Lydia gets a call from the bank. The preliminary review has passed. They ask her to bring the notarized documents. Relieved, she rushes to the bank with Leo. In the meeting room, the loan officer lays out a stack of contracts. Ms. Lydia, here are the loan agreement and the collateral agreement. Please review them. Lydia skims through quickly. 50 million loan, 6% annual interest, 3-year term. She is about to sign when Director Wang suddenly opens the door. Hold on. Lydia looks up. Her stomach drops. Director Wang takes a seat, his expression serious. Ms. Lydia, during our review process, we identified some issues. The registered owner of this office building is Mr. Marcus Han, not your company. While you've provided an asset transfer agreement, according to our legal counsel, that agreement only transfers operational control, not ownership. Lydia goes pale. But we're the ones using it, and Marcus agreed to transfer it. Ms. Lydia, for a secured loan, the bank goes by the name on the title deed. That name is Marcus Han. That means the building is legally his. Unless he comes in person and signs off on the collateral, we cannot process this loan. Lydia panics. Director Wang, we can explain. Marcus may be the registered owner, but he handed management over to us. I understand what you're saying, but the bank has its own rules. We are responsible for loan risk. If the property owner hasn't consented to the collateral and a dispute arises later, who will cover the bank's losses? Lydia is left speechless. Leo murmurs, can't we just have Marcus come sign? Director Wang looks at Leo. If Mr. Han is willing to come and sign, that would be ideal. However, as far as I'm aware, Mr. Han is no longer employed at your company. Those words hit Lydia like ice water. Ask Marcus to come and sign. Would he ever agree to that? Director Wang stands. Ms. Lydia, here's what I suggest. Go back and speak with Mr. Han. If he agrees to the collateral, bring him in person along with the title deed and we'll process it immediately. Lydia stands there frozen, completely at a loss. Ms. Lydia, should we call Marcus? Lydia closes her eyes. She calls. The phone rings for a long time. Finally, it connects. My voice comes through the speaker, lazy and unhurried. Ms. Lydia, what is it now? Lydia takes a slow breath, trying to keep her voice steady. Marcus, the company needs a loan to keep things running. We need to use the building as collateral. We need you to come to the bank and sign. A pause on the line. Then, oi, quiet laugh. Ms. Lydia, is this a joke? That building is my private property. Why on earth would I use it as collateral for the company? Lydia grits her teeth. Didn't you hand the building over to the company? I transferred operational rights. Surely you understand the difference. Marcus, the company is in real trouble right now. Please help. I hang up. Lydia clutches her phone, fingers trembling. Leo asks quietly, Ms. Lydia, what do we do now? Lydia opens her eyes and they're full of despair. The loan falls through. Suppliers are demanding higher prices. The penalty is due. The company's finances are on the verge of collapse. And it all traces back to one foolish decision she made. The loan is dead. Lydia is forced to think of something else. She has the CFO compile a list of every asset the company can liquidate. She plans to sell them off at a loss to raise emergency cash. While she's scrambling, Ms. Lydia, something serious. The company's bank account has been frozen. Lydia shoots to her feet. What? How is it frozen? The CFO turns the laptop toward her. I just tried to transfer funds to a supplier. The system flagged the account as abnormal. I called the bank. They said it's a court-ordered freeze. Lydia immediately calls Director Wang. Director Wang, why has our company account suddenly been frozen? Ms. Lydia, here's the situation. During our review of your loan application, we identified several risk concerns. After further investigation, we found your company. We have reasonable grounds to believe there is a significant risk to your company's repayment capacity. But we've always paid those loans on time. We've never missed a payment. Director Wang sighs. Ms. Lydia, you may not be aware of this, The reason your company was able to secure such favorable interest rates and credit limits was entirely due to a personal credit guarantee. Mr. Han's family carries enormous credibility in financial circles. That's why the bank was willing to extend such a large credit line to your company. Now that Mr. Han has withdrawn that guarantee, by our risk management standards, your company's credit rating has dropped from A to C. Cold sweat breaks out on Lydia's palms. He withdrew the guarantee? Mr. Han's legal team submitted a formal guarantee withdrawal request and provided your company's disciplinary records against him as supporting evidence. After review, the bank determined that Mr. Han's request is legally valid and has approved the withdrawal. Lydia is stunned. She never knew that the company's 3 smooth years were built entirely on Marcus's personal credit. Those low-interest loans, those favorable terms, those fast-tracked bank approvals, all because of Marcus. Director Wang continues. Additionally, under the terms of the loan agreement, once the guarantee is withdrawn, the bank has the right to demand early repayment or additional collateral. Your company must repay in full within 15 days. Failure to do so will result in legal proceedings. Director Wang, can we have an extension? The company is genuinely short on funds right now. Director Wang's voice turns cold. Ms. Lydia, these are the bank's policies. My hands are tied. Also, the account freeze is to protect the bank's interests. Until the loan is repaid in full, the freeze stays in place. The call ends. Lydia collapses into her chair. A frozen account means every financial transaction the company Macasis completely halted. They can't pay suppliers, can't pay salaries, can't even pay the utility bills. Ms. Lydia, what do we do? Payroll is due the day after tomorrow, and the account is frozen. Lydia sits with her eyes shut, temples pounding. She finally understands. Marcus wasn't driven out. He walked away on his own terms. And before he left, he quietly pulled out every single pillar holding the company up. All he had to do was wait and watch her company crumble. The CFO comes back. Ms. Lydia, 2 more suppliers just called. They say if we don't pay today, they'll sue. And the property management company says we're 3 months behind on rent. If we don't pay, they'll reclaim the offices. Lydia's eyes snap open. Rent? Aren't we using Marcus's building? Ms. Lydia, that building only covers the headquarters. The other 3 branch offices are all rented. Lydia sits up. The company expanded so fast over the past 2 years that the headquarters wasn't enough. They had leased multiple external spaces. And then the HR director walks in. Ms. Lydia, we've already had more Thanton employees hand in their resignations. All core technical staff. They say they see no future here. The room spins around Lydia. Staff quitting, suppliers cutting off, bank demanding repayment, accounts frozen. Every single thing is a killing blow. And all of it is landing on her at once. Leo says carefully, Ms. Lydia, what if we go talk to Marcus? If he's willing to restore the credit guarantee, the bank should unfreeze the account. Lydia shoots a look at Leo. He drops his gaze. Lydia stands and paces her office. She knows the only way out is to beg Marcus. But can she bring herself to do it? She thinks back to that day in the conference room. How she stared him down and made him hand over the keys. How he signed that document without a word. Just remembering it makes something stick in her throat. But what choice does she have? At this rate, the company will be finished within a week. She grits her teeth. Get the car. We're going to Marcus's. Leo blinks. Now? When else? Wait until the company is bankrupt? Half an hour later, Lydia stands at my front door again. This time she brings no one. Just herself. She presses the doorbell. My lazy voice comes through the intercom. Miss Lydia, back again. What is it this time? Lydia takes a slow breath. Marcus, I want to talk. I'm quiet for a moment. Talk about what? How you penalized me, or how you took what was mine? Lydia closes her eyes. Marcus, I know I was wrong. Name your terms. Whatever it takes to keep the company alive. I'll agree to anything. A quiet laugh from the intercom. Then silence. A long silence. Lydia waits. So long she thinks I'm done. Then finally my voice, cold as stone. Miss Lydia, some mistakes can't be undone. Lydia stands at the door, staring at the closed door. Her eyes finally go red. She lost. Completely and utterly lost. After slinking back from my door, Lydia walks through the world in a daze. The company's situation gets worse by the day. Resignations pour in. Legal notices from suppliers arrive like snowfall. In the middle of all this chaos, her secretary brings in a gold-embossed invitation. Miss Lydia, this is the annual gala invitation from the Jiangcheng Business Association. Lydia barely looks at it. She's about to toss it when the secretary adds quickly, Miss Lydia, this one draws a lot of investors and business leaders. Maybe it's worth going. You might get lucky. Someone there might be willing to invest. Lydia's eyes light up. If she can find a new investor, the company still has a chance. She immediately tells the secretary to RSVP and spends hours preparing a detailed funding proposal. The night of the gala, Lydia walks into Jiangcheng's most prestigious 5-star hotel in a sharp business suit, proposal in hand. The grand hall glitters with clinking glasses and industry elites. She holds a glass of champagne, scanning the crowd for a potential investor. Ms. Lydia, long time no see. She turns. It's Mr. Zhang. Someone she's done business with before. Mr. Zhang, you're here too. He nods with a smile, then lowers his voice. Ms. Lydia, I heard your company has been going through some difficulties. Lydia's heart tightens. We're currently seeking a new round of funding. If you're interested, Miss Lydia, I'll be straight with you. I've heard what's happening. Frozen accounts, suppliers pulling out. These aren't minor issues. I'd suggest sorting out your internal problems before talking about funding. He walks away with his drink. Lydia stands there, face burning. She tries a few more people. Same reaction every time. It's obvious the company's troubles have spread through the whole circle. No one wants anything to do with this mess. Just as she's about to give up and leave, the entire hall falls silent. Every head turns toward the entrance. Lydia freezes. I walk in wearing a bespoke navy blue suit, calm, unhurried. Sarah walks beside me in a sharp professional outfit, tablet in hand, every bit the picture of a top-tier executive assistant. The president of the business association comes forward personally, beaming. Young, Master Han, your presence truly honors this event. I give a measured nod. You're too kind. The president leads me toward the very important person area. All the way there, people part to make way, nodding in respect. Lydia stands in the crowd, watching, completely thrown. Young Master Han? What do they mean, young Master Han, the man she disciplined? How is he treated like royalty here? Before she can process it, Director Wang appears, walking quickly to me and bowing respectfully. Young Master Han, everything you asked for has been taken care of. I take the documents he offers and flip through them casually. Thank you for the trouble. Not at all. Anything for the Han family. Those last words hit Lydia like a thunderclap. The Han family. She recalls what Director Wang had said before, that Marcus's family carried enormous weight in financial circles. She had always assumed Marcus was just a regular person with some connections. Now she sees how completely wrong she was. Mr. Zhao walks over too, face all smiles. Young Master Han, it's been too long. I heard you've started a new venture. I smile and nod. Mr. Zhao, you flatter me. There'll be plenty of chances to work together. Young Master Han, how are things wrapping up on the Lydia side? Nearly done. Mr. Zhao nods knowingly, asking nothing further. Lydia stands nearby, taking in every word, and feels herself go ice cold. So Mr. Zhao's supply cutoff was directed by Marcus all along. Director Wang's account freeze. Also Marcus is doing. Every single thing was his carefully laid plan. She wants to storm over and confront him, but her legs feel like they're filled with lead. Just then, my gaze sweeps across the room and lands on her. Our eyes meet. I hold her gaze. Lydia opens her mouth, tries to say something, but no words come out. I look away. I turn to the businessman beside me, laughing and chatting easily, as if I never even notice her. Lydia feels the stares from the people around her. Whispers travel through the crowd. Isn't that head of the company? I heard she pushed young Master Han out. Unbelievable. Does she even know who he is? That company is done for. You cross the Han family in Jiangcheng, you're finished. Every word hits Lydia like a needle. She finally understands. Marcus was never just her co-founder or her VP. He was someone she could never touch. And she, in her arrogance, penalized him, took what was his, and thought she had come out ahead. She turns to leave and walks straight into Leo. Leo is here too, and his face is dead white as he stares in my direction. Ms. Lydia, Marcus. Who is he? What is he? Lydia lets out a bitter laugh. Someone we should never ever have crossed. Leo sways, almost losing his balance. He thinks back to how smug he felt in that conference room, how he accused Marcus, how he moved into Marcus's office. Cold sweat soaks through his back. The gala goes on, but for Lydia and Leo, every moment here is unbearable. They slink out of the hotel, leaving behind the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. I stand at the floor-to-ceiling window, glass in hand, looking out over the city lights below. A slow smile crosses my lips. Sarah steps beside me and murmurs, "Sir, Lydia has left. Let her go. The show has barely started. Why rush?" After the gala, Lydia is in full panic. She never imagined Marcus's connections ran this deep, or that she had crossed an entire powerful family. Back at the office, she can't sleep. Her mind replays every scene from that night over and over. The next morning, Leo sneaks up and knocks on her office door. "Miss Lydia, I have an idea. Let's strike first. I know some journalists. We leak a story, say Marcus exposed company trade secrets while he was VP, that he deliberately harmed the company. Once the story takes off, no matter how powerful he is, he'll have to worry about his reputation." Lydia frowns. "Will it even work? Nothing left to lose. At this rate, the company is already dead. May as well take a shot. Maybe it forces him to back down." Lydia hesitates for a long time. Then she nods. She has no options left. She's grasping at anything. Leo gets the green light. He immediately contacts a few tabloid journalists, pays them off and has them run a story. Top company VP exposes himself, secretly walked off with classified files. Rich boy exploited his position for personal gain. The posts are full of exaggerated details about my supposed misconduct during my time at the company, along with screenshots of chat messages taken completely out of context. Leo watches the online reaction and grins. "Ms. Lydia, look, it's already spreading. Once it picks up momentum, Marcus will have no choice but to respond publicly. Then we drop more, keep him on the back foot." Lydia stares at the posts, but something sits uneasily in her gut. She has a feeling this won't end well. Before she can finish the thought, a lawyer and 3 police officers walk straight into Lydia's office. Leo sees the officers and his face drains instantly. What are you here for?" "Mr. Leo, this is a court summons and a police investigation warrant. You are suspected of defamation, extortion, and embezzlement. Please cooperate with the investigation." Leo leaps to his feet. "What are you talking about? When did I ever extort anyone?" Sarah signals the lawyer to pull up the projector. The screen fills with evidence, document after document. The first, bank record showing Leo accepted supplier kickbacks totaling 2 million yuan. The second, forged signatures in Marcus's name, used to secretly divert company funds. Every piece of evidence is clear and irrefutable. The case is airtight. Leo's face goes white. His body sways. Where did you get all of this? Mr. Leo, did you really think you covered your tracks? The company's financial system was built personally by young Master Han. Every transaction you made is on record. Young Master Han simply didn't bother with a small player like you. Until now. Since you chose to make yourself a target, don't be surprised by what comes next. The police step forward and snap handcuffs onto Leo. He struggles and shouts, "Lydia, save me. You knew about all of this. You were the one who told me to do it." Lydia's face turns pale. She can't say a word. Leo is right. He is absolutely right. She knew about every kickback and every falsified record. Some of it she silently approved herself. But how could she possibly admit that now? Sarah turns to Lydia. "Ms. Lydia, you'd better watch what you say. If you try to cover for anyone or lie to the authorities, you already know what happens next." Leo is taken away by the police. The office falls completely silent. Lydia collapses into her chair. Her fingers tremble as she opens her phone. The posts exposing the truth and releasing Leo's criminal evidence are everywhere. The comment section is flooded with attacks on Leo and Live Ventures. How dare a company like this go after Mr. Marcus? Live Ventures cooked their own books and they have the nerve to blame someone else. Mr. Marcus got punished by this garbage company. That's the worst luck imaginable. Lydia stares at the comments. The room spins around her. She had planned to use public opinion to fight back. Instead, she has pushed herself into a deeper hole. The company's reputation is completely destroyed. Clients who had been sitting on the fence begin pulling out one after another. Even the handful of remaining staff hand in their resignations. The CFO walks in, her voice cracking. Lydia, another supplier just filed a lawsuit against us. The court has already sent a summons, and the business bureau just called. They're launching a full audit. Lydia closes her eyes. The tears she has been holding back finally fall. Only now does she understand. Marcus never needed to confront her directly. All it took was one small push, and everything she spent years building comes crashing down like dominoes. She picks up her phone and dials my number with shaking hands. It rings for a long time. Finally, I pick up. My voice is calm. Miss Lydia, something you need? Marcus, I'm begging you. Let the company go. What Leo did, he did on his own. It has nothing to do with the company. Miss Lydia, you really believe it has nothing to do with the company? You were the one who said, rules are rules, isn't that right? Lydia is speechless. I continue. Don't worry. I always keep business and personal matters separate. Leo broke the law. The law will deal with him. As for the company, I'm not going to wipe you off the map. As long as you pay every cent you owe under the contract, we're done. I hang up. Lydia sits there clutching her phone, completely drained. The penalties, the debts, altogether, it's over 50 million yuan. What does she have left to pay with? The company can't even cover payroll anymore. Her secretary knocks and steps in. Lydia, a delivery for you. Lydia takes it without thinking. It is a court enforcement notice. Marcus's legal team has filed a formal lawsuit against the company, demanding 30 million yuan in breach of contract penalties and an immediate asset freeze. The documents slip from Lydia's hands and fall to the floor. She knows. The end has truly come. 3 days after Leo's arrest, an explosive piece of news breaks across the Zhangcheng business world. Han Capital Group is officially launched. Registered capital 5 billion yuan. Its business scope covers every core sector that Live Ventures operates in. The announcement sends shockwaves through the entire industry. When Lydia sees the news, she is sitting in her office sorting through bankruptcy paperwork. She stares at Han Capital Group's official website on her screen, her hand gripping the mouse tight. Across the homepage banner, a single bold line reads, "Reshaping the industry with capital, defining the future of business with strength." The CFO bursts in. Lydia, Han Capital Group just announced they're taking over every single client and project we lost, and their prices are 30% lower than ours. Lydia's head snaps up. What, 30% lower? Are they out of their minds? They can't even turn a profit at that price. The CFO gives a bitter smile. They don't care about making money. What they care about is pushing us out completely. Lydia sinks into her chair. She understands now. Marcus is going to crush her with sheer force. Sure enough, within the next week, the last few clients of Live Ventures are all poached by Han Capital Group. Not only are their prices lower, their service is better, their team's more professional. Clients have no reason to say no. Even worse, Han Capital Group launches several revolutionary new products, targeting Live Ventures' flagship lines directly. Twice the performance, half the price. The marketing manager walks in with a competitor analysis report. Lydia, Han Capital's new products use the latest technology. Ours can't compete at all. Their supply chain integration is stronger too. Their cost control is way beyond ours. Lydia suddenly realizes. These products were all projects her own company had been developing but never funded. Marcus must have seen their potential long ago, back when he was still with the company. Now he has brought every one of them to life, and done it better than she ever imagined. She suddenly realizes Marcus was never the one depending on her. She was the one depending on him. The sales director comes in with another report. Lydia, our market share has dropped to 5%. At this rate, we'll hit 0 next month. Lydia closes her eyes. Is there any client still willing to work with us? The sales director shakes his head. None. Word on the street is that working with Live Ventures means crossing the Han family. Lydia lets out a bitter laugh. Marcus doesn't even need to make an open threat. As long as Han Capital Group exists, no one dares to touch her. This is the power of capital. This is the kind of backing she once looked down on. Meanwhile, at Han Capital Group headquarters, I am leading a senior leadership meeting. Sarah puts Live Ventures live data up on the projector. Sir, Live Ventures market share has fallen below 5%. Client loss rate 98%. Staff turnover 85%. At this rate, they'll be completely gone within a month. Their most valuable remaining assets are 3 core patents, a 20-person tech team, and the usage rights to their office building. I speak calmly. I want the patents and the team. Tell the legal department to prepare an acquisition plan. Drive the price as low as possible. They have no leverage left. Understood. Also, Lydia's been going around trying to raise money. She wants to make one last fight of it. Let her. The more she raises, the harder she falls. Tell finance to have 50 million yuan in cash ready. We move the moment we need to acquire Live Ventures' core assets. After the meeting, I stand at the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out over the city. Sarah steps up beside me. Sir, Lydia was turned down by everyone again today. I lift my coffee and take a sip. As expected, in Zhangcheng, no one would dare fund her right under my nose. Sarah hesitates. Sir, Lydia was your college classmate after all. Isn't this a bit? I turn to look at her, my eyes cold. Sarah, you've been with me long enough to know my principles. For those who are loyal, I give everything. For those who betray me, I show no mercy. Sarah lowers her head. I spoke out of turn. I look away and stare out the window again. When Lydia chose to turn on me, did she ever think about how much I had done for her? She made her choice. So did I. Sarah nods. You're absolutely right, sir. One more thing. The interrogation investigation on Leo's end has produced results. He's provided a lot of evidence that Lydia ordered him to falsify the books. The prosecutor's office is asking whether we want to add charges against Lydia. Not yet. Let her keep struggling. When she has exhausted every last hope, then we strike. Sarah smiles knowingly. Sir, you really want her to suffer, don't you? She humiliated me in front of the entire company. She got me disciplined. She made me pay a fine. Now it's her turn to feel what that's like. Just then, my secretary knocks and enters. Lydia is downstairs. She says she wants to see you. I raise an eyebrow. She still has the nerve to show up? She says she's willing to hand over all of the company's assets and just ask you to let her go. I laugh coldly. Let her wait. Downstairs in the lobby, Lydia sits on the sofa, clutching her bag with both hands. She has already been waiting for 2 hours. The receptionist tells her that Mr. Han is in a meeting. She knows Marcus is making her wait on purpose, but she has no choice. She just waits. Another hour passes. The receptionist finally comes over. Ms. Lydia, I'm sorry. Mr. Han doesn't have time to see you today. Please come back another day with an appointment. Lydia jumps to her feet. I have to see him, please. I'm sorry, Mr. Han's schedule is fully booked in advance. Lydia's eyes well up. Just 5 minutes, that's all I need. The receptionist shakes her head and calls for security. Lydia is escorted out of the building. She stands outside the entrance of Han Capital Group, staring up at the towering building. The tears finally come. She finally understands. She and Marcus no longer exist in the same world. After being turned away from Han Capital Group, Lydia has nothing left. The company accounts are frozen. She cannot pay her staff. Supplier lawsuits pile up across her desk. The court enforcement notices have arrived. She has no choice but to sell whatever she can. The CFO comes to her with an asset list. Lydia, the only things the company has left to sell are these: 3 core patents, the tech team, and some office equipment. I've contacted several buyers, but their offers are all very low. Lydia stares at the numbers on the list. It feels like a knife twisting in her chest. Those 3 patents took the company 2 years to develop. Their market value is at least 20 million yuan. The tech team is the company's lifeblood. Every single person was recruited at top dollar. Now she has to sell all of it for next to nothing. The pain is beyond words. But what choice does she have? The company has hit rock bottom. She grits her teeth. Make the calls. The operations manager hesitates. Lydia, there is one company offering the most. But what? Speak. It's a company acting on behalf of Han Capital Group. They're offering 10 million yuan for everything, but they require the contract to be signed today. Lydia freezes. 10 million yuan. That's not even half the market value, but the other offers are even lower, some as little as 5 million. She closes her eyes. Her voice trembles. Contact them. I'll sign. At 3 in the afternoon, Lydia arrives at the agreed law firm and pushes open the conference room door. Sarah is sitting at the head of the table, a stack of contracts in front of her. Sarah puts on a practiced smile. Ms. Lydia, please have a seat. Lydia sits down, trying her best to appear composed. Are the contracts ready? Sarah slides them across the table. All here, 3 patents valued at 6 million yuan, tech team valued at 3 million yuan, all other assets valued at 1 million yuan, total 10 million yuan. Lydia picks up the contract. When she sees the terms, her fingers begin to shake. The contract states that after the patent transfer, live ventures and all related parties are permanently banned from operating in the same fields. The tech team must be transferred as a complete unit, no splitting allowed, and payment is spread across 3 years. The first year, isn't this payment plan too harsh? I need cash now. Ms. Lydia, are you really in any position to negotiate? Let me be honest. If Mr. Marcus weren't showing you some consideration for old time's sake, we wouldn't even be offering this much. Other buyers in the market would cap it at 5 million yuan, paid all at once, no installments. Lydia bites her lip and says nothing. And don't forget, you still owe Mr. Marcus 30 million yuan in breach of contract penalties, 23 million yuan to the bank, and 8 million yuan to suppliers. That adds up to over 60 million yuan. What exactly are you planning to pay with? Lydia goes pale. Sarah leans back in her chair, her tone dripping with contempt. Ms. Lydia, you were quite the powerful figure when you disciplined Mr. Marcus, weren't you? Company-wide announcement, bonus clawback, and a fine of 188,000 yuan on top of that. And now, your company's value has dropped from 200 million yuan to 10 million. A 20-fold collapse. This is the price of crossing Mr. Marcus. Lydia clenches her fists so hard her nails dig into her palm. Don't push it. Sarah lets out a cold laugh. Push it? Ms. Lydia, you seized Mr. Marcus's assets and destroyed his reputation. That is pushing it. Mr. Marcus is willing to buy your assets. That alone is more than you deserve. If you don't want to sign, feel free to find another buyer. Lydia takes a long, slow breath. No one wants to touch her mess. Her hand trembling, she picks up the pen. She signs her name on the contract. With every stroke, it feels like her heart is bleeding. Sarah collects the contracts and stands up. A pleasure doing business, Ms. Lydia. Oh, one more thing. Mr. Marcus asked me to pass along a message. Lydia looks up. Sarah says it slowly, one word at a time. Rules are rules, isn't that right? The words land like a slap across the face. This is exactly what Lydia once said to Marcus. Now those same words come straight back to her. Lydia's eyes go red, but she cannot speak. Sarah walks out of the conference room with the contracts, leaving Lydia alone. The tears finally come. The company she spent 5 years building, sold to Marcus for pennies on the dollar. Those patents, that team, everything she was once so proud of, all of it now belongs to Marcus. And she, once a businesswoman worth 200 million yuan, is now buried in debt with nothing to show for it. She takes out her phone and stares at Marcus's number for a long time. She dials anyway. It rings for a long time before it connects. Ms. Lydia, something you need? Lydia chokes out her words. Marcus, I already sold you the company. Can you just let me go? Every cent of what you owe must be paid. The 30 million yuan penalty is due within 15 days. If not, I will file for enforcement. Every asset in your name will be seized and auctioned. Your house, your car, and your parents' retirement savings. Lydia shudders. Marcus, you can't do this. I cut her off. I can't? When you seized my assets, did you ever stop and think about whether you could? Ms. Lydia, you planted the seed yourself. Now it's time to taste it. I hang up. Lydia stares out the window. The world feels cold and completely unfamiliar. The Marcus who once stood by her side through every struggle is gone. The man standing across from her now is a ruthless predator of the business world, and she is his prey. The 15-day deadline arrives in the blink of an eye. Lydia goes everywhere trying to borrow money. Not a single person will help. The business partners who used to act like family, every last one of them, won't even pick up her calls. She swallows every last shred of her pride and approaches several loan sharks. But the moment they hear she owes money to the Han family, they turn her down on the spot. On the final day, the CFO's voice is breaking. Lydia, Han Capital just wired the first installment of 10 million yuan, but that is nowhere near enough to cover the debt. Lydia gives a hollow laugh. She has no idea what to do. Before the words are even out, the office door is pushed open. Several court enforcement officers in uniform walk in. The one leading them is a middle-aged man. He shows his identification. Ms. Lydia, this is a court enforcement order. As you have failed to fulfill your repayment obligations within the required deadline, all assets registered under your name are hereby seized in accordance with the law. Lydia rises to her feet. Her voice is shaking. I still have 3 days. The contract says 15 days. The enforcement officer checks his watch. Ms. Lydia, it is currently 6 in the evening. The deadline has passed. Please cooperate with us. With that, the officers begin placing seals on the office equipment and assets. Lydia watches them move through the room. She feels completely hollow inside. The enforcement officer hands her a document. This is the full list of assets being seized under your name. 1 villa in the city center, 1 Mercedes-Benz sedan, and the property registered under your parents' names. Lydia's head snaps up. Why is my parents' house being seized? That's their retirement home. The enforcement officer opens his file. According to our investigation, although that property is registered under your parents' names, the down payment came directly from your own funds. Furthermore, you transferred shares registered under your name into your parents' names 3 months ago. This shows clear signs of fraudulent asset transfer. Lydia sways and nearly loses her footing. She did move some assets into her parents' names after things started falling apart. She thought she could at least protect something. She never imagined Marcus would have tracked every single move. In addition, all of your bank accounts have been frozen. All funds will be applied toward debt repayment. Lydia crumples into her chair. Tears stream silently down her face. The enforcement officer glances at her, his tone softening slightly. Ms. Lydia, I'd suggest reaching out to your creditors as soon as possible and working out a repayment extension. Otherwise, all of these assets will go to auction, and then you will have absolutely nothing left. With that, the officers finish sealing the premises and leave behind a room full of court seals. Lydia sits in her sealed-off office, staring out at the night. She takes out her phone and calls her parents. Her mother's anxious voice comes through immediately. Lydia, there are people here saying they're going to seize the house. What is going on? Lydia can barely get the words out. Mom, I'm sorry. I've dragged you into this. Her mother's voice sharpens immediately. What exactly has happened? You told us the company was doing well. And so Lydia tells them everything. There is a long silence on the other end. Then her father's voice comes through, heavy and slow. Lydia, how could you do this to Marcus? Have you forgotten everything he did for us? Lydia is crying too hard to speak. Her father continues. When you started the company, Marcus put up his own property as collateral for your loan. When the company ran short on cash, Marcus covered the supplier payments himself. When you were hospitalized, Marcus stayed by your side day and night. You've forgotten all of that. How could you turn around and punish him? How could you take what was his? Lydia is sobbing. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Her father lets out a long sigh. It's too late for that now. Go apologize to Marcus yourself. Ask him to forgive you. Your mother and I, these old bones of ours, even living under a bridge would be fine by us. She hangs up. Lydia curls up on the floor, knees to her chest, crying with everything she has. She finally understands. What she has lost is not just the company and her money. It is her parents' trust, her friends' respect, and her own dignity. The next morning, Lydia comes to stand outside Han Capital Group. This time, she doesn't go inside. She kneels directly on the ground outside the entrance. Passers-by stop and stare. Some recognize her. They start whispering among themselves. A security guard walks over. Ma'am, you can't be here. Lydia looks up, her face streaked with tears. Please, let me see Mr. Han. The guard hesitates, then picks up his radio. 10 minutes later, Sarah walks out of the building. She looks down at Lydia kneeling on the ground, not a trace of sympathy in her eyes. Ms. Lydia, why put yourself through this? Lydia begs. Please, just let me see Marcus once. I want to apologize to his face. Sarah shakes her head. Mr. Marcus has made it clear. He doesn't want to see you. Whatever you owe will be handled through legal channels. Lydia grabs the hem of Sarah's trousers. Please, I know I was wrong. Sarah pulls her leg away and says coldly, Miss Lydia, when you disciplined Mr. Marcus, you never imagined it would come to this. She turns and walks back inside. Lydia kneels there, staring at the closed doors, and finally understands what it means to be truly desperate. Just then, a black Rolls-Royce pulls out of the underground garage. The window slowly rolls down, revealing my expressionless face. I look at Lydia kneeling on the ground. Not a flicker of emotion. Lydia sees me and scrambles toward the car. Marcus, I was wrong. Please forgive me. I speak without expression. Ms. Lydia, you will pay every cent you owe. Your villa will be auctioned off next week. The proceeds will go toward the penalty. As for being friends, we were, but you destroyed that yourself. I nod to the driver. The car pulls away, leaving Lydia kneeling on the ground, weeping in despair. I sit in the back seat, watching her figure grow smaller in the rearview mirror. I feel nothing. Some debts take a lifetime to repay. Lydia's villa is auctioned off by the court. It sells for 18 million yuan, well below market value. The money goes directly into my account to offset the penalty. On the day Lydia moves out of the villa, she checks into a cheap roadside motel. She has almost nothing left, just a small amount of cash to get by. Just when she thinks things cannot get any worse, Leo is released on bail. The first thing Leo does is find her. He knocks on her motel room door. When Lydia sees him, her expression shifts immediately. What are you doing here? Leo steps into the room with a cold smile. Ms. Lydia. Oh, I'm sorry. I should say Ms. Liu now. I'm here to settle a score. Lydia frowns. What score? Leo grabs her by the collar. What score? I was locked up for half a month, interrogated every single day. Do you have any idea what I went through? And all of it is because of you. Lydia struggles against his grip. Let go of me. Those fake records were your idea. Lydia stumbles back onto the bed, her face white. I told the police everything. That you ordered me to falsify the books. That you took bribes from suppliers. That you diverted company funds to buy property for your parents. I kept every piece of evidence. Did you really think I would take the fall for everything alone? Lydia's head snaps up. You dare betray me? Betray? Lydia, you were the one who pushed me out as the scapegoat first. When Marcus's people came to arrest me, what did you say? You said everything was done by me, on my own, and had nothing to do with you. Lydia has no answer. Leo pulls a thick stack of documents from his bag. These are the bank transfer records of every bribe you took over the years, and the recordings of you ordering me to break the law. I've already handed all of it to the prosecutor's office. Lydia goes deathly pale. Are you insane? What do you gain from this? Leo says it hard and flat. What I gain is a lighter sentence. The prosecutor's office told me that if I cooperate fully and provide key evidence, they'll go easier on me. But you as the mastermind are looking at 5 years minimum. Lydia's legs give out. She nearly faints. Leo looks at the wreck in front of him and feels a rush of satisfaction. Lydia, look at you now. After everything you put me through, enjoy prison. He slams the door on his way out. Lydia sits on the bed, completely numb. She never expected Leo to turn on her. She never imagined he had kept that much evidence. Her hands shaking, she takes out her phone. She wants to call someone, anyone, but there is not a single person left in her contacts who can help her. Just then, there is a knock at the door. Lydia assumes it is Leo coming back. She opens it with trembling hands and finds 2 uniformed prosecutors standing outside. They show their badges. Ms. Lydia, we are from the city prosecutor's office. You are currently suspected of embezzlement, falsifying financial records, bribery, and multiple other charges. Please come with us. Lydia's legs buckle. She drops straight to her knees. I really didn't. Miss Lydia, we have gathered substantial evidence, including Leo's testimony and supporting documents and physical evidence. Please cooperate with the investigation. It will be better for you. Lydia is taken to an interrogation room at the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor lays a stack of evidence on the table in front of her. Ms. Lydia, these are the materials provided by Leo. Take a look. This is the falsified financial statement signed in your own handwriting. This is the bank record of your bribe payments. This is the recording of you directing Leo to break the law. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Lydia stares at the evidence. She falls apart completely. Everything she thought was buried and hidden is now laid bare in the open. She finally understands. Leo was protecting himself from the very beginning, always keeping a way out. The prosecutor continues. According to Leo's testimony, you were the one directing all of these illegal activities. He was merely following orders. If the charges are proven, you are facing 5 to 10 years in prison. Lydia is trembling all over. No, that's not how it happened. We planned all of it together. It wasn't just me. The prosecutor shakes her head, but the evidence shows that every decision document bears your signature. Every single flow of money ultimately leads back to you. Leo was simply the one carrying out orders. Lydia finally understands. Leo has completely sold her out. He used his role as a cooperating witness to buy himself a lighter sentence. She screams, I want to see Marcus. He planned all of this. He deliberately turned Leo against me. Ms. Lydia, please calm down. Mr. Han is simply a creditor pursuing what he is owed. Collecting a debt is perfectly legal. What happened between you and Leo, that is entirely your own affair. Lydia sinks back into the chair. Tears pour down her face. She finally understands. Marcus never needed to lay a single finger on her. All he needed was one small push. She and Leo would tear each other apart all on their own. And now, she has not only lost everything she owned, she is also facing prison. Meanwhile, at Han Capital Group headquarters, Sarah comes to report. Sir, Leo turned himself in. Lydia has been formally placed under investigation. I give a calm nod. As expected, someone like Leo will do anything to protect himself. Sarah smiles. Sir, that was a masterful move. You didn't have to do a thing. They destroyed each other on their own. I pick up my tea. That's just human nature. When their interests aligned, they were the best of friends. But when disaster hit, all they could do was sell each other out. Sarah asks, what's the next move? I set down my cup, eyes cold. We wait until Lydia has burned through every last hope, until she hits rock bottom. Then we deliver the final blow. Sarah nods, understanding completely. I stand up and walk to the window. Lydia and Leo turning on each other is just a small act in this larger play of revenge. A sideshow. The real ending is still to come. After Lydia is released on bail, she moves through the world like a ghost. The prosecutor's office has let her go for now, but the case is still open. She could be formally charged at any moment. She is living in a cheap motel, surviving on instant noodles, staring at the few thousand yuan left on her phone, sinking deeper into despair. And then, she receives a call from an unknown number, a middle-aged man's voice. Ms. Lydia, I'm the cousin of your college classmate Zhang Wei. I heard you've been going through a rough time. I run some businesses overseas, and if you're interested, I have a position open. 50,000 yuan a month. Lydia hesitates. Really? Absolutely. Zhang Wei has told me about you. He says you're very capable. I happen to need someone with management experience. Think it over. If you're willing, I can handle the visa for you, and I'll cover the flight too. Lydia feels a spark of hope. She can't survive in the country anymore. Creditors are everywhere. Everyone she passes seems to be laughing at her. If she could just get out, at least she could escape all of this and start over. She grits her teeth. Fine, I'll go. The other party arranges the flight and visa quickly. They agree to meet at the airport in 3 days. Lydia starts packing. She doesn't have much, just a few changes of clothes. The remaining 800,000 yuan in the company account is moved in batches into several personal accounts. She tells herself it will at least give her something to start with overseas. What she doesn't know is that my team is monitoring every single transaction. Sarah looks over the surveillance report and laughs coldly. Sir, Lydia is moving money. Looks like she's planning to skip town. Let her. The more she moves, the heavier the charges. Should we stop her now? I shake my head. Not yet. Let her believe she can escape. Then we pull her back at the very last moment. That feeling of falling from hope into despair, that is the most painful thing of all. 3 days later, Lydia arrives at the airport with her luggage. She is wearing a mask and sunglasses, terrified of being recognized. Her hands don't stop shaking at the check-in counter. She keeps expecting someone to rush out and grab her, but everything goes smoothly. She gets her boarding pass, she clears security without a problem. She sits down in the departure lounge watching the boarding time on her phone. For the first time in a long time, she exhales. Half an hour left. Once I'm on that plane, I'm free. And then, the intercom crackles. Would Ms. Lydia please proceed to the service desk? You have an urgent matter that requires your attention. Lydia's stomach drops, but she forces herself to walk over. The staff member at the desk looks at her, then presses the intercom button. Seconds later, several police officers step out. The lead officer shows his badge. Ms. Lydia, you are suspected of fraudulent asset transfer and evading debt obligations. Please come with us. The color drains from Lydia's face. I didn't do anything. I'm just going abroad for work. The officer stays calm. Ms. Lydia, we received a report. You transferred funds while released on bail and attempted to flee the country. This is a court detention order. Please cooperate. The officer snaps handcuffs onto her wrists. Lydia completely falls apart. She struggles and shouts, I wasn't fleeing. I was going to work. You can't do this to me. Passengers all around stop and stare. Some pull out their phones to record. Without another word, Lydia is taken to the airport police station. She sits in the interrogation room, shaking from head to toe. The officer places a document on the table. Ms. Lydia, this is your transaction record from the past 3 days. You moved 800,000 yuan from the company account into 5 separate personal accounts in multiple transfers. Then you purchased an international flight ticket. And you're telling me you weren't fleeing? Lydia argues back. That money is mine. I have every right to use it. The officer cuts her off. That money belongs to the company account. The company is currently in bankruptcy liquidation. All funds must go toward debt repayment. Moving that money on your own already constitutes fraudulent asset transfer. Lydia slumps in the chair and goes silent. You are currently released on bail. Under the terms of your release, you are prohibited from leaving this city. You purchased an international flight ticket in an attempt to flee. This is a serious violation of your bail conditions. The prosecutor's office has decided to formally arrest you. The moment Lydia hears the word arrest, she goes completely blank. She starts crying. No, you can't arrest me. I really was just going to work. The officer shakes his head. Ms. Lydia, nothing you say changes anything now. The evidence is clear. Prepare yourself for the consequences. At the same time, I'm in my office going over documents. Sarah walks in. Sir, Lydia has been arrested at the airport. I set down my pen and lean back. That so-called overseas job opportunity. I arranged it. I wanted her to believe she could escape and then shatter every last hope at the final moment. Sir, that move was absolutely brilliant. I lean back in my chair. When Lydia had me disciplined, she humiliated me in front of the entire company. Now I am going to destroy her reputation in front of the whole world. Sarah nods. Plenty of people at the airport got it on video. It will probably be all over the internet soon. Good. Let everyone see exactly what happens to people who betray me. Sure enough, within an hour, the video of Lydia being arrested at the airport spreads across the internet. She is in handcuffs, dragged away by police, humiliated for everyone to see. Bystanders point and stare. The comments section erupts. Isn't that the owner of Live Ventures? She cooked the books and then tried to run. She deserves it. Owes that much money and still tries to flee. Absolutely shameless. I heard she disciplined the very person who helped build her up. People like that belong behind bars. Lydia sits behind the bars of the detention cell, reading every comment on her phone. The tears won't stop. She finally understands. Marcus doesn't just want to destroy her career and her fortune. He wants to destroy her name. He wants to make sure she never recovers. And all of this, every single bit of it, she brought on herself. After Lydia is formally arrested, Leo thinks he is finally in the clear. He cooperated fully with the prosecutor's office, handed over everything, and was promised leniency in return. The prosecutors told him that as long as he kept cooperating, the most he would get is a 2-year suspended sentence. No prison time at all. Leo feels quietly pleased with himself. He thinks he has made it through. He moves out of his old apartment. With the little money he has left, he rents a tiny room in the suburbs and plans to keep a low profile, wait for things to blow over. That evening, Leo has just finished a bowl of instant noodles when there is a knock at the door. He peers through the peephole. 2 men in suits are standing. Outside, they don't look like ordinary people. Leo freezes, debating whether to open the door. Sarah's voice comes through. Mr. Leo, I'd strongly suggest you cooperate. Some things are better discussed face to face. Leo clenches his jaw and opens the door. Sarah walks in with 2 bodyguards. She looks around the tiny room, a faint smirk on her lips. Mr. Leo, looks like things haven't been going so well for you. Leo forces himself to stay calm. Sarah, what does Mr. Marcus want with me? Sarah takes the only chair in the room and crosses her legs. Nothing major, just a little conversation. Mr. Leo, did you really think selling out Lydia would get you off the hook? Leo's expression shifts. You forged Mr. Marcus's signature. You diverted company funds. Did you really think we didn't know? Leo goes rigid. Sarah signals the bodyguard to turn on the projector. Documents appear on the wall one by one. This is the original document where you forged Mr. Marcus's signature. We had a handwriting analysis done. This is the complete transaction record of the 5 million yuan you secretly diverted. This is the recording of you accepting kickbacks from suppliers. They have agreed to testify in court. Leo stares at the evidence. Cold sweat soaks through his shirt instantly. Sarah continues. Mr. Leo, did you really think pushing all the blame onto Lydia would save you? How naive. This evidence alone, just the forged signature, is enough to put you away for 3 years or more. Leo's legs give out. He collapses to the floor. No, that's impossible. The prosecutor's office said as long as I cooperated, they'd go easy on me. Sarah lets out a cold laugh. Go easy on you? That was when your only charge was embezzlement. But add forging a signature, diverting funds, and bribery on top of that, and you still think they'll go easy? Leo completely breaks down. He crawls to Sarah's feet, sobbing. Sarah, please, let me go. I really do know I was wrong. Sarah pulls her leg back in disgust. Leo, you were so smug back in that conference room. You thought you were clever, using Lydia's trust to climb up. And look at you now. You're not even worth a second glance. Leo kneels on the floor, knocking his head against the ground over and over. I was wrong. I was truly wrong. Please ask Mr. Marcus to spare me. Sarah stands up. Spare you? Leo, do you remember what you once said? Behavior that harms the company's interests cannot be tolerated. Those were your exact words, weren't they? Leo trembles all over. He cannot speak. Sarah says coldly, Mr. Marcus wanted me to tell you, whatever you did to him will come back to you doubled. This evidence goes to the prosecutor's office tomorrow. You can sit here and wait to face justice. With that, Sarah turns and walks out. Leo kneels on the floor, staring at the door as it closes. He feels completely hollowed out. He thinks back to that day in the conference room. How smugly he stood there and accused Marcus. How arrogantly he stormed into Marcus's office. Looking back now, how ridiculous he was. How foolish. Meanwhile, I am signing documents in my office. Sarah reports, Sir, Leo has been formally recharged by the prosecutor's office. He is expected to receive 5 to 7 years. He should be grateful you didn't go further. You're too kind, sir. I set down my pen and say flatly, kindness? I just think watching him rot in prison and regret everything is more satisfying than finishing it quickly. What about Lydia? I stand up and walk to the window. Her story isn't over yet. Outside, the sun is setting. The entire city is bathed in golden light. But beneath that glow, countless people are struggling and suffering. Lydia and Leo are just two of the smallest among them. I look out over the city, a cold smile pulling at the corner of my mouth. The game isn't over. The real ending is only just beginning. After Lydia and Leo are both sent to prison, Lee Ventures officially enters bankruptcy liquidation. A court-appointed liquidation team moves into the company. They begin cataloging everything that remains. The once thriving offices now hold nothing but worn-out furniture and equipment covered in court seals. The liquidation team leader looks over the asset list and shakes his head with a sigh. This company's debts far exceed its assets. Creditors will be lucky to recover 10%. The liquidation team publishes an auction notice for all remaining assets. On the day of the auction, almost no one shows up. Most of them are just there to watch. The auctioneer taps the gavel. 3 core patents of Lie Ventures. Opening bid 5 million yuan. Any takers? Complete silence. The auctioneer continues awkwardly. 4 million, 3 million, still no bids. Then Sarah raises her paddle. 2 million. The auctioneer's eyes light up. Bidder number 2 offers 2 million yuan. Any higher? Still silence across the room. Everyone in that room knows Sarah represents Han Capital Group. No one dares compete with the Han family. The auctioneer brings down the gavel. Sold. Congratulations to bidder number 2. Every lot that follows goes the same way. The tech team, the office, even the company's trademark and domain name. All of it acquired by Han Capital Group at rock-bottom prices. By the end of the auction, Han Capital Group has spent just 8 million yuan to sweep up every single valuable asset Lie Ventures ever had. The liquidation team leader looks at the results and shakes his head with a hollow smile. He knows this is Han Capital Group crushing them from an entirely different level. But there is nothing he can do. That is how the legal process works. The highest bidder takes everything. And with the Han family casting their shadow over the room, no one dares bid at all. Leo is summoned immediately. In the interrogation room, the prosecutor lays the evidence on the table in front of him. These are new pieces of evidence submitted by Han Group. You have been hiding critical information, haven't you? Leo keeps his head down, saying nothing. The prosecutor continues. Forged signatures, 5 million embezzled. Why didn't you come clean? Leo breaks into tears. I thought they would never find out. The prosecutor's voice turns cold. Never find out? Leo, you have seriously underestimated the law. The evidence is airtight. Your status as a state witness has been revoked. The deal for a lighter sentence is off the table. Based on this new evidence, you are looking at 5 to 7 years. Leo hears the number. His whole body goes limp. He screams hysterically. This is not fair. Lydia did far worse than me. Why am I the one being punished? The prosecutor shakes his head. Leo, no one is above the law. You committed a crime. You face the consequences. Leo is escorted back to his cell. Sitting behind iron bars, he finally understands one thing. In front of Marcus, he and Lydia are nothing but ants. Marcus never needs to strike directly. One gentle push is all it takes, and they tear each other apart, walking straight into their own destruction. He had screamed hysterically. Impossible! Those patents are worth at least 20 million. The tech team sold for only 8 million? The lawyer sighs helplessly. Ms. Liu, Han Group was the only bidder at the auction. No one else dared to participate. Under legal procedure, as long as there is one bid, the sale goes through. Lydia collapses into her chair. Tears pour down her face. The company she spent 5 years building, The patents and the team she was so proud of, all of it now belongs to Marcus. And she has not just lost everything. She will spend the coming years behind bars. The lawyer continues. Also, the liquidation committee has done the math. The auction proceeds plus the seized assets only cover the 30 million in breach of contract damages owed to Mr. Hahn. Nothing more. Lydia lets out a bitter laugh. So everything I worked for over 5 years ends up in Marcus's hands. The lawyer nods in silence. Lydia closes her eyes. Tears slide down her cheeks. She finally understands. Marcus does not just want to destroy her, he wants to take everything she has ever built. This is not simple revenge. This is total plunder and erasure. The lawyer watches her suffer. He lets out a long sigh. Ms. Liu, your best move now is to cooperate fully with the investigation. Fight for a reduced sentence, get out earlier and start over. Lydia opens her eyes. They are empty. Start over? What exactly do I have left to start over with? A few days later, Hahn Group releases an announcement acquiring Liu Corp's core assets and integrating them into Hahn Group's operations. The announcement specifically notes that Liu Corp's tech team will continue working under Hahn Group, contributing to the advancement of the industry. The announcement sends shockwaves through the business world. Everyone understands. This is Marcus's final humiliation of Lydia. Not only destroying her, but forcing her to watch her life's work become someone else's glory. I stand in the newly renovated office, staring at the 3 patent certificates hanging on the wall. A cold smile crosses my lips. Every patent now bears the name of Hahn Group. Lydia's name has been completely erased. The tech team has already begun work. They say that with Hahn Group's resources behind them, they can unlock the full value of these patents. I nod. Good. Let them work without limits. I will back them with everything they need. Sarah smiles. Mr. Hahn, you are making Lydia watch from prison as her life's work creates wealth for you. I say calmly, this is the price of betraying me. She will not only lose everything, she will watch everything she built become the stepping stone beneath my feet. Sarah nods with admiration. I turn to face the window. The city outside still thrives, but Liu Corp has vanished from it completely. After the auction, Sarah's legal team arrives at Liu Corp's office building. She stands in the empty lobby looking around. Clear out everything here. Not a single item stays. Workers begin hauling out equipment. They strip the interior. Even the company logo on the wall is chiseled off. 3 days later, the once glorious headquarters of Liu Corp is reduced to an empty shell. Sarah stands at the entrance, takes a photo and sends it to me. Mr. Hahn, Liu Corp has been completely cleared out. I look at the photo and reply without emotion. Good. Now integrate the patents and the tech team into Hahn Group. I want everything that was Lydia's to feed Hahn Group's growth. Sarah replies, the entire tech team has signed with Hahn Group. Their compensation is triple what Liu Corp paid. They are all grateful for the opportunity. I let out a cold laugh. Back at Liu Corp, these engineers were underpaid and overworked, while Lydia spent the profits on her lavish lifestyle. Now at Hahn Group, they earn more, and they have real room to grow. Of course they are grateful. They will forget Liu Corp ever existed. That is exactly what I want. I do not just want to erase Liu Corp physically. I want it erased from memory. Meanwhile, in the detention center, Lydia learns the news through her lawyer. When she hears that all her assets have been acquired by Hahn Group at rock-bottom prices, she completely falls apart. In court, the state prosecutor presents the evidence one by one: falsified financial statements, transfer records, audio recordings. Every single piece is crystal clear. The evidence is overwhelming. Lydia's lawyer tries to defend her. Your Honor, my client did make mistakes, but she was pushed into a corner. The company was struggling. She had no choice but to take certain irregular actions. The state prosecutor fires back immediately. Financial difficulty is not a justification for breaking the law. The defendant knowingly falsified records and transferred assets. This was deliberate. There was no coercion. The presiding judge turns to her. Defendant Lydia Liu, do you have anything to say regarding the charges? Lydia rises to her feet. Her voice is hoarse. I admit I made mistakes, but the root of all this is Marcus. He deliberately set me up and left me with no way out. She turns her head. Her eyes are filled with hatred. Marcus, you had the power to help me. Why did you do this to me? We were friends. I look at her with no expression, saying nothing. The presiding judge strikes the gavel. Defendant, watch your words. This is a courtroom, not a place for emotional outbursts. Lydia cries out. She did all of this. Without her, my company would never have collapsed. I would never have ended up here. The state prosecutor speaks calmly. Your Honor, Mr. Hahn, as a creditor, has every legal right to recover what he is owed. The defendant embezzled his assets first. Mr. Hahn pursued legal remedies afterward. That is entirely lawful. The presiding judge nods. The prosecutor is correct. Defendant Lydia Liu, you cannot blame your own illegal actions on someone else. Lydia slumps back into her chair. She weeps in despair. The presiding judge turns to me. Mr. Hahn, as the victim, is there anything you would like to say? I rise to my feet. My voice is steady. Your Honor, I have only one thing to say. When Lydia dismissed me, she said something I have never forgotten. Rules are rules, and company assets must be kept strictly separate from personal ones. Today I give those words back to her. The law is the rule. Break it, and you face the consequences. The entire courtroom falls silent. When Lydia hears those words, she freezes. These are the exact words she once used against me, now returned to her without a single change. It lands like a hard slap across the face. I continue. Lydia embezzled my assets, dismissed me without cause, and smeared my name. These are facts. My decision to recover the debt and protect my rights is completely lawful. As for her claims of being set up, that is pure nonsense. I simply exercised my rights as a creditor. The presiding judge speaks clearly. Defendant Lydia Liu, do you have anything further to say in your defense? Lydia stares at me, tears streaming down her face. She wants to speak, but in the end she lowers her head. She says nothing. She knows that in this courtroom, with this evidence, any defense she offers is worthless. The presiding judge turns to Leo. Defendant Leo, do you have anything to say? Leo drops to his knees in the defendant's box, sobbing. I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I should never have been greedy. I should never have broken the law. Please, Your Honor, show leniency. The presiding judge shakes his head. Defendant Leo, you did not only commit embezzlement. You forged signatures and engaged in bribery. These are serious offenses. No one stands above the law. You must be held accountable for your actions. After a full day of proceedings, the court adjourns and sets a date for sentencing. As I walk out of the courthouse, reporters swarm around me again. I stop and face the cameras. I hope this case serves as a warning to everyone. No matter who you are, no matter what your reason is, breaking the law means facing the consequences. Rules are rules. The law is the line you do not cross. Every major media outlet scrambles to report those words. They become the headline of the day. 1 week later, the court delivers its verdict. Lydia is sentenced to 7 years in prison for embezzlement, falsifying financial records, and illegally transferring assets. She is also fined $500,000. Leo is convicted of embezzlement, forgery, and bribery. He receives 6 years and a fine of $300,000. The verdict also states that Lydia and Leo are jointly liable for $30 million in damages to Marcus. When the sentence is read, Lydia completely breaks down. She collapses in the defendant's box, her face drenched in tears. Leo faints on the spot. Court officers carry him out. I sit in the gallery and listen to the full verdict without any expression. Walking out of the courthouse, the sunlight is blinding. I squint. Sarah steps up beside me. Mr. Hahn, it is finally over, I say quietly. No, not yet. This is only the end of the legal chapter. The real... Sarah looks at me, puzzled. I turn toward the courthouse building. A cold smile pulls at the corner of my mouth. Let them sit in prison and slowly regret every choice they made. 7 years is more than enough time for them to understand the full cost of betraying me. The verdict spreads across Jiangcheng almost immediately. Online, the reaction is overwhelming support. Marcus was right. People like that deserve to be behind bars. 7 years is not enough, should have been 10. That is what you get for betraying someone who helped you. They deserve it. Lydia and Leo's names become cautionary tales in Jiangcheng's business world, while I am held up as a symbol of justice and principle. This trial does not just end a feud. 3 days after the verdict, the court officially releases the full verdict and, at media request, publishes select footage from the trial. The clips go viral almost instantly, racking up tens of millions of views within hours. In the footage, Lydia screams hysterically in the courtroom, accusing me of setting her up and framing her. I respond with total calm. Rules are rules. The law is the line you do not cross. The contrast is stark, and the clip spreads like wildfire. It trends #1 across every major social platform. Comments flood in. Lydia has no shame. She is the real fraud. That line, rules are rules, is iconic. The karma hit so hard. Someone digs up the internal memo Lydia used to fire me. Side by side with the current verdict, the irony is impossible to miss. She once accused Marcus of stealing from the company. Now the court has convicted her of exactly that. The karma is deafening. A major media outlet produces a full special report, breaking down the entire case from beginning to end. In the program, a legal expert comments, the greatest irony of this case is that every accusation Lydia used to dismiss Marcus ended up being proven true about herself. The real embezzler was her. She demanded clean boundaries between public and private funds, then fled while hiding stolen assets. The karma here is truly textbook. The host asks, what is your view of Mr. Han's conduct throughout all of this? Completely lawful. As a creditor, recovering what he was owed is his right. Withdrawing the credit guarantee was a natural response after being wrongfully dismissed. At no point did Mr. Han break any law. It was Lydia who walked herself into the abyss, one step at a time. After the program airs, my image in the public eye is completely transformed. From a dismissed executive to a principled business leader, Lydia and Leo become public enemies. Inside the prison, Lydia learns through her lawyer about the public reaction online. When she sees the flood of hate directed at her, when she sees countless people mocking her breakdown in the courtroom, she shatters completely. She curls up in the corner of her cell, knees pulled to her chest, sobbing. Her cellmate recognizes her. You are that Lydia Liu. Everyone online is ripping you apart. Another inmate sneers. You deserve it. People who bite the hand that feeds them deserve every word. Lydia covers her ears. She does not want to hear it, but the words keep finding their way in. She finally understands. Marcus does not save people. He dismantles them. The court officially issues the enforcement notice, declaring that the verdicts against Lydia and Leo are now final. Both must jointly pay $30 million in damages. The notice details the asset recovery. Lydia's villa has been auctioned for $18 million. Company assets sold for $8 million. Other seized assets liquidated for $4 million. Total $30 million, all applied to the breach of contract damages owed to Marcus. The notice ends with a specific remark. The defendant's remaining debts cannot be repaid, and while creditors may apply for enforcement under the law, there are 0 remaining assets to recover. The moment the notice drops, every supplier and creditor Lydia owed money to is left stunned. They now realize she has absolutely nothing left. A few furious suppliers post online, Lydia owes us millions. Now all her assets have gone to Mr. Han and we get nothing. He walks away with $30 million, while small suppliers like us eat the loss. The posts spark debate quickly, but the majority of responses side with me. Mr. Han is a lawful creditor. He has priority repayment rights under the law. Blame Lydia. She racked up the debts. That is not Mr. Han's problem. I watch the discourse online and smile to myself. Sarah walks into the office. Mr. Han, public opinion has swung completely in your favor. Everyone is praising you now and tearing Lydia apart. I say, I planned for this from the very beginning. Winning in court was only part of it. I needed to win in the court of public opinion too. Now Lydia has lost her freedom and her fortune. She has also lost her reputation. She will never recover. Sarah looks at me with pure admiration. Mr. Han, that was a masterclass. I rise from my chair. I walk to the floor-to-ceiling window. Sarah, do you know what true revenge really is? Sarah shakes her head. I turn to face her. True revenge is not simply taking someone down. It is making them clearly aware in their most desperate moment of exactly how they destroyed themselves. Lydia is sitting in a prison cell right now. Every day she faces her failure. Every day she relives every foolish decision she made. That kind of mental torment is far worse than any physical punishment. Sarah nods. You are right. These 7 years are going to be a living hell for her. I let out a cold laugh. 7 years. She thinks she can walk out and start fresh. How naive. I will make sure she understands. Some mistakes cannot be undone in a lifetime. Sarah looks at me uncertain. I speak calmly. When she gets out, I will make sure she sees her former company, her patents, her team all flourishing in my hands, creating more value than she ever dreamed possible, and she will just have to watch. Powerless. Sarah draws a sharp breath. Mr. Han, you are going to make her regret this for the rest of her life. I turn back to the window, my voice steady. She humiliated me in front of the entire company. I destroyed her in front of the entire world. She stole from me. I left her with nothing. She killed our friendship. I killed everything she had. That is the price of betraying me. Outside, sunlight blazes across the city. The whole city is bathed in golden light. And beneath that light, Lydia's name has become a byword for disgrace. Jokes spread endlessly online. Someone even turns the case into a business school case study, warning entrepreneurs to operate within the law and to never forget who helped them rise. I become the positive example in that very case. Countless people hold me up as a model. This public reckoning does not just destroy Lydia's reputation. It elevates mine to heights it has never reached before. This is exactly the outcome I wanted. A perfect and total victory. The second week after the verdict takes effect, I formally reclaim full ownership of the office building. I had bought it 5 years. And at the time, to help Lydia launch her business, I had lent it to her free of charge. I let her use it without asking for anything. I covered every loan payment, every tax bill, every maintenance cost myself. Now it is finally back where it belongs. I stand in front of the building, staring up at the 8-story structure. A wave of complicated feelings rises inside me. This building witnessed Lydia's rise, and it has witnessed her fall. Sarah steps up beside me. Mr. Han, the renovation team is ready. They can start whenever you give the word. I nod. Follow my brief exactly. Transform this into Han Group's new headquarters. I want every single person to know that this building has always been mine. Sarah nods and leaves. I walk inside. The empty lobby still carries a trace of LuCorp's presence. Paint is peeling off the walls in several places, all signs of neglect because Lydia cut corners on maintenance. I shake my head. When I first lent her this building, I hoped she would take care of it properly. I never imagined she would not bother with even the basics. The renovation begins quickly. I bring in the best design team in Zhangcheng and rebuild to international standards. The lobby is laid with imported marble. The walls are replaced with smart glass panels. Every office is equipped with the most advanced technology available. 1 month later, the building is completely transformed. Nothing of what it used to be remains. I stand in the top floor office gazing out the floor-to-ceiling window at the entire city spread below. A deep sense of satisfaction rises in my chest. It has finally become what it was always meant to be. On the day the renovation is completed, I hold a grand opening ceremony. Nearly every prominent figure in Zhangcheng's business world attends. Director Wang, Mr. Zhao, and many of the entrepreneurs who once worked with Lydia are all here. They stand in the gleaming new lobby, full of admiration. Mr. Han, this renovation is stunning. A true headquarters for Han Group. Magnificent. Director Wang leans in close. Mr. Han, Lydia never showed this building half the attention it deserved. With this renovation, the value has at least doubled. Word is that when Lydia found out from prison that you had taken the building back, she completely lost it. I do not respond. I simply raise my glass and take a quiet sip. Sarah comes over and whispers in my ear. Mr. Han, former LuCorp employees are gathered outside. They want to come in and look around, but security has stopped them. I frown. What do they want? Sarah explains. They say they want to see what the building looks like now. They used to work here after all. I am quiet for a moment. Let them in. Lobby only. No one goes upstairs. Sarah nods and heads off. Shortly after, more than a dozen former LuCorp employees file into the lobby. They take in the transformation, their eyes heavy with emotion. I spot a young woman I recognize immediately. She was the receptionist at Layo Corp. When everything fell apart at the company, she was the only one who did not turn on me. She quietly sent me a message saying she believed I was innocent. I walk over to her. Lin, it has been a while. Lin looks up. The moment she sees me, her eyes fill with tears. Mr. Han, I say calmly. Where are you working these days? Lin lowers her head. I have not found anything yet. After LuCorp collapsed, I sent out so many applications, but the moment employers heard I was from LuCorp, no one would take me. I nod. Come to Han Group tomorrow. Do not thank me. You earned this. When everything went wrong at the company, you did not pile on. I remember that kindness. Lin nods through her tears. The other former employees witness this and they crowd around. Mr. Han, we want to work for Han Group too. Can you give us a chance? I look at them with cold eyes. When things went wrong back then, How did each of you treat me? And now you come to me asking for a favor? They go pale. Not one of them can speak. I continue. I am someone who gives everything to those who are loyal and shows no mercy to those who betray me. You chose to stand with Lydia back then. Now you live with that choice. I turn and walk away. The others stand frozen. Only Lynn follows me out. She wipes her tears and bows deeply. Mr. Han, thank you for this opportunity. I will work hard, I promise. I nod. I know you will. After the ceremony winds down, I stand alone in the top floor office. Sarah comes in. Mr. Han, why did you help Lynn? I look out at the city lights below and say quietly, because she was the only one who still believed in me when I had nothing. That kind of loyalty deserves to be repaid. Sarah nods. You truly value the people who matter. I turn to face her. Sarah, you have been with me for years. You should know how I work by now. I can be ruthless toward enemies, but for those who are genuine with me, I hold nothing back. Sarah smiles. Lynn is going to be grateful to you for the rest of her life. I shake my head. I do not need her gratitude. I am just doing what I believe is right. I walk to my desk and pick up a document. It is Han Group's latest financial report. Since acquiring LuCorp's assets, company performance has grown by 30%. The patents and the tech team, backed by Han Group's resources, have generated value far beyond all projections. I look at the report and a cold smile crosses my face. Lydia could never have imagined that everything she spent years building could produce this much in my hands. Sarah, once she has hit rock bottom and given up all hope, I will go see her in person. I will let her see with her own eyes exactly what has become of everything she lost. Sarah nods. Mr. Han, that will be the final blow. I say calmly, whatever she did to me, I return it doubled. That is the rule. Outside the window, the building blazes with light against the night sky. The massive Han Group sign stands out with brilliant clarity. This building has finally returned to its rightful owner, and Lydia can only watch from prison, through news feeds and online updates, powerless to do anything. This is the price of betrayal. This is the outcome I wanted. After 3 months of operation, the building that Lydia once used has become a landmark in Jiangcheng's business district. The enormous LED screen on the building's exterior scrolls through Han Group's latest milestones. 3 revolutionary technologies successfully developed. Market value surpassing 100 billion, now among the most influential companies in Jiangcheng. On the day of the grand opening ceremony, nearly every major business figure in Jiangcheng turns out. I stand at the entrance of the building, dressed in a tailored suit, greeting each guest with calm confidence. Director Wang is the first to approach. He grabs my hand with a wide smile. Mr. Han, congratulations. Han Group has earned every bit of this success. Director Wang, you are too kind. Your support over the years has meant a great deal. He lowers his voice. Mr. Han, our bank is putting together an industry fund in the range of 100 billion. We would love to have Han Group involved. I smile. Director Wang, have your team coordinate the details with Sarah. We can go from there. Mr. Zhao walks over next, holding a thick cooperation agreement. Mr. Han, this is a long-term supply contract our company has prepared. We hope to build a deep partnership with Han Group. I take the contract and flip through it casually. Mr. Zhao, I appreciate the effort. I will have my team review it thoroughly. Mr. Zhao smiles. Mr. Han, it is an honor to work with you. I could see early on that Lydia's operation was not going to last. And sure enough, it collapsed. Mr. Han, you have always had the vision and the nerve. I do not respond. I simply smile. At that moment, a stretch Rolls-Royce pulls up to the entrance. The door opens, and out steps a white-haired elderly man, sharp-eyed and full of energy. The entire room goes quiet. Everyone respectfully parts to make way for him. Sarah whispers in my ear, Mr. Han, it is Elder Li, the honorary president of the Jiangcheng Chamber of Commerce. I step forward quickly. Elder Li, your presence here truly honors Han Group. Elder Li laughs and claps me on the shoulder. Young Han, I believed in your family when your father was just starting out. Seeing you reach this height puts my old heart at ease. I escort Elder Li into the lobby. Elder Li, please, come in. Elder Li looks around slowly, nodding with approval. Very impressive. I remember this building. You bought it yourself, didn't you? You lent it to that Lydia, Lu, and she had no idea how fortunate she was. She bit the hand that fed her. Now it is back where it belongs, better than ever. I say calmly, Elder Li, the past does not need to be revisited. Elder Li shakes his head. No, it does. You handled this beautifully. You held your ground and preserved your dignity. In business as in battle, being too soft is just cruelty to yourself. You did the right thing. I nod in gratitude. Elder Li continues. I came today not just to congratulate you. There is something I need to discuss with you. The Jiangcheng Chamber of Commerce is selecting its next president. I have talked it over with a few of the senior members, and we all agree you are the right person. I pause. Elder Li, I am still young. I worry I may not have the standing to lead. Elder Li waves it off. What does young matter? Youth brings drive. Youth brings boldness. Look at what you have accomplished in just a few months. Every move has been textbook. The chamber needs someone like you at the front to lead it to a higher level. I think for a moment. Elder Li, I need some time to consider it. Elder Li smiles. Of course, I will wait for your answer. You will not disappoint us. The opening ceremony officially begins. I stand at the podium facing hundreds of the city's top business minds and deliver my address. Distinguished guests, thank you all for being here today for Han Group's opening ceremony. 3 months ago, I reclaimed this building that has always been mine. People ask me why I would invest so much in the renovation. My answer is simple, because it is worth it. This building is not just Han Group's headquarters. It is a statement of our commitment to quality, to principle, and to conviction. The audience erupts in applause. I continue. Over the past few months, I have been through a great deal. People betrayed me. People smeared my name. People tried to bring me down completely. But I have always believed one thing. Rules are rules, and principle is the line you never cross. Today, Han Group stands here, not just as a rising company, but as a tribute to everyone who has ever held their ground. The applause grows louder. Many rise to their feet. I look out at the crowd, and a surge of pride fills my chest. Going forward, Han Group will continue to live by this belief. We will push boundaries and drive innovation in business. We will contribute to the growth of Zhangcheng and the nation, and we will show the world through our actions that good is rewarded and wrong is answered for. To those who are genuine with us, we give everything. To those who betray us, we show no mercy. After the ceremony, I return to the top floor office. Sarah hands me a document. Mr. Han, this just arrived. I open it. It is an acquisition deal worth over 100 billion. The target is another major company in Zhangcheng. I study the document. A smile pulls at the corner of my mouth. Interesting. It looks like our journey is only just beginning. Sarah says, Mr. Han, you are already a legend in Zhangcheng's business world. I shake my head. A legend? No. This is just the beginning. A true legend is written over a lifetime. I walk to the floor-to-ceiling window. Those who once betrayed me are now behind bars, facing cold iron and endless regret every single day. And I stand at the top of this city, stepping into a new chapter. Sarah comes to stand beside me. Mr. Han, Lynn performed wonderfully today. Every guest praised her warmth. I nod. She is a good person. Invest in her. Sarah smiles. Mr. Han, you are truly good to her. I say quietly, because she deserves it. In this world, sincerity is the rarest thing there is. Whoever is genuine with me, I am genuine with them in return. That is my principle, and it is my bottom line. Night falls. The LED screen outside the building blazes with light. Sarah asks me, if Lydia had never betrayed you, do you think you would still be where you are today? I am silent for a moment. Then I say calmly, no regrets. Without her betrayal, I would probably still be a comfortable vice president, never discovering what I am truly capable of. In a way, I should thank her. It was her betrayal that made me who I am today. Sarah nods. Mr. Han, you are truly at peace with it all. I turn to her. Sarah, remember this. A truly strong person is not someone who never falls. It is someone who rises every single time they do, and comes back stronger. I raise my glass. To the person I am today, I drink it down in one go. I set the glass down and turn toward my desk. The 100 billion acquisition file sits waiting for me. Beside it, a stack of contracts awaiting my signature. This is my battlefield. This is my stage. Lydia's story is over. Mine is only just beginning. Outside the window, the city glows in the dark, radiating light and life. The Han Group building stands at the heart of the city, like a lighthouse, lighting the way forward. I sit at my desk, pick up my pen, and sign my name on the 100 billion acquisition deal. A new journey officially begins.